As one member of the legendary Poor Righteous Teachers, he's put out 4 albums, and he's put out 7 albums as a solo artist. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, because if I keep talking, we'll never have enough time. The one and only, Wise Intelligent. How you doing, good brother? No doubt. Yes. Thank you for coming out, man. Thank you for being here with us. No doubt. How are things?
Things are moving.
Okay.
Things are moving. Life is going on.
Okay. So, I'm gonna start like I do pretty much every interview. We know about you through the music, but what I want to do is kind of get to the man behind the music. So, if you would be so kind, sir, where are you from?
From Trenton, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was born in New Brunswick, New Jersey. Moved to Trenton when I was a toddler. Though I wasn't even one. I don't think I was 1 year old when my parents moved to Trenton.
Mm-hmm.
So I was basically raised in Trenton.
No doubt. Humble beginnings. What your folks do?
My folks.
Yeah. How did y'all get from New Brunswick to Trenton?
Well, it's a long story. You know what I mean? My parents, they came from North Carolina.
Okay.
They came from Greenville, North Carolina.
All right.
In the 60s.
Okay.
You know, and when they got here, it was the era when the mothers didn't work. You know what I mean? So the fathers did all the working. You know, pops did all the work. You know, but then my parents divorced. Well, they separated. They never divorced, but they separated forever. Let me put it that way.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I get it.
They separated forever.
Right.
You know, when I was like 4 or 5 years old.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that's when life happened.
Any siblings?
You know what I mean? I have several siblings.
Okay.
I have 4 brothers, 5 sisters.
And where do you place in that?
I'm
man?
7 from the top.
Okay. All right, God,
7.
body. I see what you're talking about.
Absolutely. You know what I mean?
Wow. So it seems as if this is predestined in a sense. Would you say?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I'm that deep. I don't know if I'm that deep. You know what I mean?
I got
Maybe,
you.
You know what I mean?
How did hip hop enter into your life?
Wow. Hip hop entered my life like it did most youth that were removed from New York City.
Okay.
You know, through Grandmaster Flash, Melly Mel.
Yeah.
You know, The Message, Sugar Hill Gang. You know, that's how hip hop entered my life. You know, that's the first rap record I heard was Sugar Hill Gang.
Okay.
Rapper's Delight.
Okay.
You know.
I got you. So what was it about Rapper's Delight that made you feel like I can get involved?
It was my man talking to me. You know what I mean? It was the neighborhood.
Okay.
It was the neighborhood, it was the lingo, it was the language, the culture, you know, that we were all experiencing in the city. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they were speaking to us directly.
Okay.
You know, and that's why it was easy to relate to the MCs.
So with regards to The Message and your stylings as an MC, as an artist yourself, do you believe that that song influenced your decisions with regards to your religious beliefs?
Well, I wouldn't say I have religious beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not a part of any organized
I understand that.
school of thought or organized religion.
Mm-hmm.
However, what the message did for me was it was the first time I heard someone interpret our collective reality from the vantage point of our history and experiences, you know, in a way that we can relate to it.
Yeah.
You know, Melly Mel was our voice, you know what I mean?
Right.
You know, he was our voice. He was speaking for the communities that we were being raised in, you know, and all the conditions that were imposed on us. So.
No doubt. When did you pen your first song? Your first rap, period?
One of the first rhymes I wrote that was a complete rhyme, I wrote when I was 15 years old. And that record was Shakila, the first Shakila record that went on the first Poor Righteous Teachers album.
Okay.
That was the first
complete
record.
Okay.
The first complete rhyme that I wrote.
Man,
The first complete song that I wrote.
All right.
Let me put it that way.
Okay. So, we know you, well, most of our viewers out there know you as a member of Poor Righteous Teachers. And you guys laid down a wonderful foundation and groundwork with your music. How did Poor Righteous Teachers come together?
Well, Poor Righteous Teachers was, well, Culture Freedom and I, we were tight since we were like 11, 12 years old.
Okay.
You know, and we used to run around freestyling in a little, remember the radios with the one speaker and the cassette with the microphone. Yeah, I mean, we would go to his grandma's house and play vinyl and put the little radio next to the speaker, and we would rhyme in the mic so we can get the beat from off of the instrumental from off the joint, make tapes.
Pause tapes.
Right.
Okay.
So we were like, you know, we were like 11, 12 years old, you know, and me and Culture, we like brothers. We known each other forever. So when we started to grow up, you know what I mean, we linked right back up. We both ended up living in the same projects.
Okay.
You know,
that's what's
we
up.
started making music together. I was with, you know, Culture was running with a lot of crews, and you know, they had a lot of crews that he was a part of, the God Squad, you know, and then I was running with other crews, you know. So we eventually came back together like, yo, let's do our own thing. Okay. You know, so that's what we did. I left the crew that I was with. He left the crew that he was with.
Right.
And we put it together.
For the hip-hop illiterate, why the name Poor Righteous Teachers?
Well, the name Poor Righteous Teachers come from the Nation of Gods and Earths, which comes from the lessons from the Nation of Islam's Supreme Wisdom. You know, Muslim lesson number 2. Who are the poor righteous teachers? Who are the 5%?
Right.
Who are the 5%? They are the poor righteous teachers. That's the answer. So that's where the name came from. It was fitting because we were all 5%ers. Okay. Culture Freedom, Father Shaheed, Wise Intelligent.
I got you.
The entire neighborhood.
Pretty
the projects we come from was called Divine Land.
There it is.
You know, all the youth were 5%ers. You know, everybody was 5%ers in the projects we came from. So, or you were flirting with it. If you wasn't, you were flirting with with lessons. So
I got
that's where the name came from.
So, how did Profile Records fit into that? Like, did you guys approach Profile, or did Profile approach you?
They approached us. What happened? We put our records out on an independent label first, Northside Records, which was also in our projects and was owned and operated by Eric IQ Gray, his partners James Lee and Dwight, and they put the record out. We put a 12-inch out, you know, and he shopped the record. IQ, Eric IQ Gray took the record to Red Alert. Red Alert started playing it, and that was it. You know what I mean? Red Alert played it, and then Red Alert, from what I understand, put the record in one of the A&R heads over at Profile's hand and said, yo, this is what it is. Okay. You know what I mean? And they hit us, and that was it after that.
So when y'all did sign, did y'all sign for a 4-album deal, or did y'all initially sign?
7.
7? Really?
The initial contract was 7 albums. I mean, yeah, it was 7 albums.
It was 7 albums, okay.
Yeah, it was 7 albums.
Okay. Well, we want to get into one of your joints from those PRT sessions. We're going to go ahead and play it right now. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Rock This Funky Joint by Poor Righteous Teachers right here on Hip Hop 40. I'm still sitting here with our guest, the one and only Wise Intelligent. By all means, please feel free to call up 404-884-6829. That's 404-884-6829. Wise, thanks for sticking around with us, man. We appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
No doubt.
You know what I mean?
So that video, that song, how did that song impact your career? Did you think it was going to be that song, or?
Nah, I mean, I don't ever remember creating music from the vantage point of, you know, what it's going to do. Is it going to blow up? Is it going to, you know, I was always creating music from the vantage point of the art. It was just about the art for me. You know, how we even made the song was funny. You know, Rock This Funky Joint. I mean, it came from Spike Lee from Do the Right Thing. You know, when Ozzy goes into the liquor store and he asks for the beer, he's like, y'all better get some Miller High Life up in this funky joint.
Yeah.
So Culture was like, yo, Wise, you better rock this funky joint. He's just playing around. We playing, you know what I mean? So I wrote the record, and Culture just said that in the chorus from the movie.
Yeah.
And that was the song, and that's where the song came from. So
there it is.
You know.
So between Holy Intellect and the New World Order, how was that ride like for you and also as a group?
It came with all the growing pains, I mean, we were going through everything that artists go through. Mm-hmm. When your hobby becomes a hustle, then the hustle becomes a headache. Right. You know what I mean? So we were in the hobby stage early. Right. You know, we were making music because it was fun and we liked making music. It was what we liked doing. Okay. And then it became a hustle. Right. You know, when we started to make money from it and it started to pay bills and things of that nature, and then there was pressure. Yeah. From the business of the companies, everybody wanted to make money. Right. So it became a hustle. The hobby became the hustle, and then it became a headache. Right. You know, and then all the struggles that come with that. So dealt with. On your temperature gauge, you mentioned hobby, hustle, headache. Moving into the space of becoming a solo artist and going indie, how would you rate that? Would you rate that back as a hobby, a hustle, or a headache? I would rate that as liberation. Okay. It's just absolute freedom to do whatever I want to do, how I want to do it. Mm-hmm. You know. Okay. Wouldn't give it up for the world.
And that liberation came in the form of the talented Timothy Taylor. Thematically, where were you going with that album?
That was about just introducing the me that nobody know. Okay. You know,
all right.
The me nobody knows. That was about. You know, because everybody know me as Wise Intelligent, the 5%er, the serious guy, the lessons, you know what I mean, and so on and so forth. You know, with the talented Timothy Taylor, I got a chance to really delve into the street life that we came up in, you know. Because people have this idea that Poor Righteous Teachers, some college graduates, went to college and everything. I mean, we read a lot of books. I mean, I've read a lot of books. I've studied a lot, but I've never went to college. Right. You know what I mean? Okay. And I'm not proud of that. It's not a good or a bad thing for me. It just didn't happen. Right. You know, but people assume that. You know what I mean? They assume that because Malcolm X is polished up. Yeah. You know what I mean? Right. That he wasn't ever Detroit Red, you know what I mean?
Right. Or Malcolm Little.
Or Malcolm Little. Right. That he was never Malcolm Little. So, you know, that's what Timothy Taylor was about. It was just, you know, I came up where I came up. Okay. You know? So, and a great piece of work, by the way, if I do say so myself, man. That's really good.
Thank you. Also, you put out an album called The Unconquerable Jesus Jones.
The Unconquerable Jesus Jones.
How did you come up with that title, brother?
Well, you know, it's like, you know, people think it's unconquerable, but it's unconquerable. Like the conch hair, you can't conch this. You know, it's like kinky hair. The hair is so kinky, it's it's real hair. Right. You can't perm this. You can't fry it, dye it, lay it to the side. You can't do none of that to it. It's unconquerable. Right. So the Unconquerable Jesus Jones was basically about a urban hero. You know what I mean? A superhero, urban superhero, regular guy with superpowers. Okay. That's unwavering. Okay. You know what I mean? That's committed. Right. You know, can't be bought. Okay. And he got healing power. He could walk on water. And again, liberation. Jesus Jones.
There
it
is, liberation.
Jesus Jones, right.
How long did it take you to make that project?
It took me about probably 2 months, 2-3 months. Okay. To wrap that one.
Was that all in-house?
Yeah, that was mostly all house. Masada, my brother Masada, he did all the production on that. Okay. Him and PJ, him and his brother named PJ, and Big Scott from Chicago, 7XL Production. So a small crew, like 3 heads.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to go ahead. What I want to do right now is to get into one of your videos. I want to get into Game of Death. Would you mind setting that up?
Game of Death is a joint off the album I did with this crazy, dope, super producer, Ginsu D, the God. Yo, Game of Death. That's the name. That was the title track. The album is called Game of Death. If you don't have it in your collection, you sleeping. You sleeping. And I'm telling you, preferably get the vinyl. It's limited edition Egyptian gold vinyl. Get the vinyl. You know what I mean?
So we're going to go ahead and get into this video. This is Game of Death by Wise Intelligent right here.
And it's hard.
On Hip Hop 40. Check it out. Wise, I wanted to speak to you before we get into talking about the new album. I wanted to talk a little bit about Jersey.
Oh, yeah.
Like you come from a state that, in my opinion, historically speaking, is literally top tier when it comes to lyrical talent. How did that influence your ferociousness with the pen, or did it step your game up?
I mean, Jersey has always been in this space where not having any mainstream music outlets. You know, there are no major radio stations in New Jersey that was bumping hip hop.
Right.
So we had to go to New York, or we had to go to Philly.
Right.
For radio. You know, even for live shows.
Right.
You know, even to participate in the main vein of hip hop culture, we had to go outside. So being kind of isolated like that, I think that kind of helped Jersey MCs develop their own thing. Because one thing is for sure, I don't know two Jersey MCs that sound alike.
I hear that.
It's like, you know, everybody has their own thing. Always have. Jersey was always unique. The artist always took a unique approach to it, an original approach. You know, that was one of the things, stay original. You know, so, yeah, I mean, the influence, yeah, I mean, Chill Rob G and all of those heads, you know what I mean? The heads, you know, Lakim Shabazz, they were all influences, you know.
But none of them sounded alike.
I mean, none of them sound alike. You know, and that was first and foremost, that was the thing. You had to, nobody could be you better than you can be, nobody could be you better than you.
Right. No,
so that's how you shine.
Word to Steve Arrington. I hear you. I hear you.
It's one of those things, you know. So, yeah, I mean, Jersey is different. Jersey's different.
Okay.
You know.
So you got a new album out called Ponzi.
Yes, sir.
You mind talking to us a little bit about it?
Yeah, Ponzi is that record represent a pivotal moment in my evolution or my journey, the transitioning from a child to adulthood. You know what I mean? From Ponzi to Wise Intelligent. You know, Ponzi was a nickname that my mom gave me when I was a baby. That's what everybody called me until I was about 13 years old.
Nice.
You know, and when my brother changed my name, you know, unbeknownst to me. But Ponzi represents that transition, that pivotal moment in my life, my introduction to hip hop, my introduction to the Nation of Gods and Earths, my introduction to girls and sex and alcohol and firearms and weed and you know what I mean? That everything that I experienced in that transition is what the record Ponzi represent. So, you know, on the album cover, you'll see I have the letters in a numerical value. And it adds to 85, you know, because it was around 1985 when this transition took place. And as many people know, for the 5%ers, when you don't have knowledge of self, you're an 85. So, so this is when I was transitioning from being an 85 to a God around 1985 somewhere. You know, and my name added to 85 coincidentally.
All right. No doubt. Well, we got a call in the on the Hip Hop 40 line. Caller, what's your name? Where you from?
Hey, peace. This is Atlantiville Breeze. What's up?
Hold on. Say that again, caller.
Atlantiville Breeze. What's happening, Big Dread?
Atlantiville Breeze, what's going on, good brother? We're here in the studio. We're here in the studio with Wise Intelligent. You got a question for him?
Peace.
Peace. I just had a question for you, and I don't know if you've touched on it yet, but I wanted to ask you about your solo album, "Killing You for Fun," and I think, please correct me if I'm wrong, you did it on Profile. I just wanted to know, how did that whole concept fly with Profile and with the original cover art?
Well, that was with Contract Records out of Philadelphia.
Okay.
That was my first immersion into independent music. That's when I first put out something independent, when I was testing the independent waters, trying to, gain some more knowledge. I mean, I was learning. It was a learning thing for me. So I said, I'm going to put this album out so I can learn as much as I need to learn about doing independent music. So that was pretty much my pilot run on independent music, and I ran into something that I don't like dealing with when I'm doing independent music. Doing independent music, I shouldn't have to worry about people having problems with the covers or whatever. So Contract, the partner that I went in with for the record, it was a joint venture. Their thing was the cover, of course, couldn't get placement in Walmart. Walmart wouldn't put the CD in the stores because I had a bunch of white people having a picnic around a burning black man on the cover.
That's right.
And it was called "Killing You for Fun." So,
Yes,
so they wanted to pull the cover, so we had limited covers with a different image on it for different outlets. So yeah, it was blowback from it, of course. But that's sometimes that's exactly what I'm aiming for. And that's why being independent and being in the space that I'm in now works for me, because I'm aiming to upset the status quo. I'm aiming to kick over. I'm aiming to knock over the apple cart. I'm kicking the beehive. That's what I do.
Right.
Atlantiville Breeze.
I still enjoy that album. It's still in rotation.
That's what's good.
Much love and appreciation to you, sir.
Appreciate you.
Well, thank you for calling in, man. We'll talk to you soon, man. Once again, this is Hip Hop 40. You can check us out, facebook.com/hiphop40live, or on our website, hiphop40.com. I want to give a shout out to Cat Jolly in the building, Al Passarella, Derek Yutzi, Joe, I see y'all. Bruce, Hard Rock, I see y'all, man. I see y'all on the chat line. Thank y'all so very much for tuning in, checking in. Once again, feel free to call up 404-884-6829. That's 404-884-6829. Wise, before we get out of this, when it's all said and done, what do you want your career to stand for?
Values.
Explain.
Values. I mean, my value for me is the sum of my values, and when it's all said and done, it should be evident that I stay committed to my values, in hip-hop, from ding to ding, from curtain call, from sunrise to sunset. I've been the same. I've been unwavering. I haven't changed one iota. The message is still the same. The movement is still the same. It's still black liberation for me, and it's going to be that forever, because my values is what's most important to me. So my value is the sum of my values, All
right.
So that's what I want people to remember, that I stay true to my values.
Well, we appreciate you coming here, giving us your experience. We got one last video to play. I call this one the Dealer's Choice. It was hand-selected by one and only Wise Intelligent. This here is Illuminati right here on Hip Hop 40. I'll be back with closing thoughts.